And welcome back to another episode of the Sunscreen Sessions. We're right here at the 20th anniversary of the St. Petersburg Sunscreen Film Festival at the AMC Sundial. I'm here with Coley, who is the everything behind Jebus, and very excited to talk more about the movie and what he does in the world today.
I'm a prestigious person.
You're very prestigious.
Very prestigious. I do stuff. I make stuff. I say stuff. Stuff happens. Love life. And some people see it, and some people get viciously angry at me for it. And that's how it goes.
So let's just start from the beginning. You walking into Gulfport and saying, "Hey, I want you people to work here." What was that like to go in the community and say, "Hey, I want this whole community to be in the film"?
It's representative of how I've always done things, from a punk rock ethos and ground up. I like weirdos, and I wouldn't even call it casting. It's like I'm sorry, actors, but I have a slur word for you of headshots. I'm like, oh, shot at headshot. Go get that lime green Tide picture. But God bless you. But and there's amazing people of all types. But I do tend to like weirdos who just play themselves, kind of, and that's very much more of a comedian approach than a filmmaker approach. And Gulfport just happens to have the greatest weirdos on earth. I mean, it wasn't hard to identify who would be in it. I mean, you watch the movie and it's almost like a love letter to Gulfport. And I feel like in time it'll be kind of like Walt Disney World, but instead of animatronics, it's just the people. And because it's such a still place that you don't want to ever change, like in a good way, like they'll just be there, probably smoking joints on the corner. And you'll see him. You'll see Max, the local homeless guy, quadruple fisting cigs. It's like, so you go to Gulfport, you'll see everybody in the movie just being like that. Be kind to them, give them money, and and I had this script and I had this idea, and I've always done the back end thing where I share the equity with everybody, and that's part what I call community-ism, where it's really a cap table or stakeholder theory capitalism, but it sounds like communism. But you just share a little better, right? And so part that I believe in that, and also, workers owning their own work product, but also it helps bring the cost of a movie down. And also myself as an artist deserve people who are in it for the passion, not that. You don't want to do it for the art, and you use people, and you don't want to have to pay them. And I feel weird. So the back end's kind of like a good win-win. And 99.9% of people were down for that. And I'd say there was maybe 5 or 6 people who insisted upon, you got to do it this way or not, and they're not a part of this because they didn't want to, and that's you miss life that way, and the over monetization and transactionalism in the country's killing it, and then there was only one actor that I agreed to just pay absorbent amounts of cash to do it, and that was Judas, of course. So fits. I wouldn't want to play Judas either, so he deserved it, and he killed it. Yeah, he killed it. Yes.
Story of Jesus, the coming, the satire piece, so where did that idea come from? What pushed you to do that?
A fever dream and near death. I almost died from COVID, and I had that first one real bad, double pneumonia, blood clot, seizures. I had to get emergency neck surgery to take discs off of my spinal cord that was so swollen from the inflammation. Worst terrible thing that's ever happened to me. My dad died of COVID, and the whole thing was a mess. And I prayed for the first time in a long time. I was more of a meditator, and then it's like a song. I'm not even close to Jesus or anything special, but the download came right then, and then it actually did really, in a very real sense, give me hope, because the way art works is like it's not going to give you some if it doesn't want you to make it. So I was like, all right, I guess it's not going to kill me. I guess gonna hurt like a bitch for a while, but and so I just proceeded from there, and it came. And I've always been weird, but it was probably like DEFCON 12 weird, because of minor strokes or something. It's funny now. No. When my business partner Jeffrey saw me in the hospital for the neck surgery, and it was like one of the deepest laughs of my life, because I finally got like kind of God's joke about the whole thing, because it worked out, and I was working good, and I was getting my relief finally, and God's not cruel. It might seem it at times. Humans are cruel. Life is cruel, but God's not cruel. And if you listen to it and work with it. It's just kind of trying to nudge you in the right path or shape you. And I was always a good dude, but it made me a lot better. And so it was really lucky. And then this was like my heaven afterward, or dessert. It was like, Gulfport healed me. Everybody's into healing medicine and plant medicine and craniosacral lens neurofeedback, and so while making the movie, I'm getting 500 hellos a day, and half are calling me Coley, half are calling me Jebus, and then just amazing witch women will stop me in the street, be like, "Hey, I just got a prompt. I need to tell you this." I'm like, "I'll take whatever I can get." What's so funny is like people in New York would be like, "Get away from me," and I'm like, "Yo, do you know something I don't? Because I could use your boy could use some help, And they'll be like, "I've got a prompt to tell you that even though you're on a mission and you're working hard for it, you need to take time to reflect this week." And it's like the thing I did need, or it's just a good idea all the time. And I'm like, and the universe does show you winks. And I really believe that. Carl Jung talks about that with synchronicity. It's not foofy, and we all have a little spritz of skits, and and when you're looking for it, And so my first day in Gulfport was exactly what you would think. I'm 50 pounds overweight from COVID. I'm in my post-fame Elvis phase, but never had experienced fame. So it's just an overconfident fat guy. And it was a lot of fun. And I ate peanut butter ice cream all the time. And the lesbians who let me be called me Peanut Butter Boy. And I loved them very much. And so all I did was get high, eat ice cream, and play with puppies all day. And I get to the last booth, and it's a skunk rescue. And they take these injured skunks and they take the stinker out of them. Okay. I don't know how you do that, but
and they're pets.
And you can adopt them as pets the same way you would a dog. Okay. And that's not a thing, right? I didn't think there's not a thing. Super rare, right? Very rare, mathematically improbable. Yeah. And I look at the woman's car, and it's like lime green, purple with like a cannabis leaf. Nothing rare about that in Gulfport. And I go, "Do you smoke weed?" And she goes, "Yeah." And I go, "Do you smoke weed with these skunks?" And she's like, "What do you think?" And I was like, "So these are skunks who smoke." And she's like, I was like, "Oh my God. I mean, God is real." I'm like, yeah. And the odds of that are mathematically improbable. So to me, that was a sign of God. And it's not like, because some guy with the hat on told me. It's the skunks told me. So I don't know. Above my pay grade. I don't fucking know. But, Yeah. It was certainly a good sign. Or like Matthew McConaughey talks about green lights. I was getting green lights the whole time. The whole time. It was the most ambitious thing I ever tried. I wrote, directed, played 5 roles. Finance, executive produced, the soundtrack's my 15th album. I managed a group of. Thank you. People sleep on my music. Yeah, I have like more albums than fans on the music side, and and I, so it was very ambitious, and I'm managing 400 human beings for back end only. That would never happen in LA. You go in LA and you're like, "Hey, we're gonna make a movie," and it's for back end. They would, So it was very ambitious, and to be honest, it was easier than anything I've ever done. And I'm normally sober, like just by choice, no issue or nothing. I just like clarity and things. And for like I was like largely sober for like 10 years, and then after dying, I was like, I gotta live a little bit, And so I was pretty much stoned and on kratom and God knows what else for 2 years straight making it. I was like kind of blind while I made the movie. Like I was kind of I just kind of went full goof, and it just always worked. It was really weird. And like even like the financing, right? Like I put $100,000 up, my boy put $100,000 up. People, the community would throw up money here and there. I'd be like doing medical ketamine on the beach, like doing chants, like grunting with somebody, and the other guy be grunting, and he'd be like, "Yo, dude, this is super wavy." And I'd be like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yo, I'd like to put up $50,000." I'm like, "Death." And like it's like I wasn't even fucking trying. It was fucking so awesome. Yeah. And I definitely deserved it because I've paid my dues over almost dying, in this punk rock path my whole life. And so it was kind of like my reward. And then I experienced 8 Black Swan events while making it and shopping in LA. Like things are just to give the bullet points, just because it's too much to go into all of this on this. But near death from COVID, 3 bouts of brain encephalitis, neck surgery, 4 more bouts of COVID. The biggest, worst hurricane in Florida's history, Hurricane Ian, drove across country, went to Vipassana, 10-day silent meditative retreat, got off of ketamine that way, bare knuckled it. I'm fucking in the middle of Texas, like, this was overly ambitious, dude. You should have, and then I go through the mountains. There's a snowstorm, get stuck in a snowstorm, get to LA. There's the biggest fire of all time, Palisades. Yeah. My car got stolen with all my production equipment, $100,000 worth of shit. I had 2 attempted armed robberies by cartel members, a couple business beefs, a couple extortion attempts, a couple different things. I mean, it was biblical, but the whole time I had this optimism because the universe clearly wanted it made. And I've studied the classics like Hero's Journey and stuff, and they do say you have this like Bowser level thing, the universe gives you what you can handle kind of thing. And I was like, this either means I'm dying soon or I'm about to be very successful. And so I passed all the tests, and then I just ended up here on the other side. And it's been all green lights this week of just, I decided I'm going to live here and then just blessing. So I think it's happening. I sure fucking hope. I haven't seen it happen yet, so I'm open, but it does seem like it's going now. And that's fucking awesome. That's nice. That's going to help with eating, you know? It's going to help with eating.
Yeah.
And
the living happening.
You got to eat food. You know what I mean? And Lord knows $37 hamburgers at Grubhub is not cutting it, And so, and the cast and crew owns 49% of the movie.
Yeah.
So say it's Napoleon Dynamite and we make $100 million, or in perpetuity, we're licensing it for $1 million a year to various streamers, Big Lebowski classics, whatever. That's $49 million flying into Gulfport economy. It's a small town, and they just had a big hurricane. That's going to change things. And I can't turn water to wine, but maybe in the future I could cover the water bill. And it's just going to spit out. And because my next project's called Coley for President, and it's a absurdist sketch comedy with like dystopian satire and stuff, like Black Mirror kind of. It's going to be next level. You always want to up your game every project, and I like Duct Tape and Magic. That one I'll do for a little more, but we go into these themes of not only are we going to satirize, but we're also going to come up with solutions for things that are going on in the country. And and you do that through a joke, you do it through social activation. Like one thing we want to do with the Jebus movie is go get a joint, find somebody of the opposite party and smoke it while you watch a movie with them. And just laugh at we should probably be friends again. So, just do that. It's fucking simple.
I love that intro to the movie. Just do that.
Yeah. Just fucking, whatever. And we got it pretty damn good over here, even with all the shit that's fucked up. And the best part about America is that you can curse it out. That the same reason why we all are pissed at how we are is the same reason we should be patriotic. We're allowed to say this fucking sucks. Yeah. Other countries, you go missing.
You do.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I couldn't do this career anywhere else.
No.
And there's, very practical solutions from all these things where it's like, there's a lot of people on the right saying, we need stronger families and we need better social fabric. And that's true. And it's only destroyed because of you. But, 50 years of, when's it going to start trickling?
Yeah.
I haven't felt a damn thing.
No.
My showers are not working, guys. And and they're like, well, just throw a Bible in that house and it'll fucking work. It's like, throw $5,000 a month in there. Throw an extra 5 in there and you'll have nice families. Yeah. I lived in a condo in Gulfport. My papa bought for $40,000.
He still has it now.
Well, he passed, and it's in my family, and it's and so it's like that sounds unheard of, and that's why I liked FDR as a president and stuff like that, because it's like, okay, that's what separates us from being animals. If animals, you broke your leg, they're like, well, you're gonna die here. We're gonna keep on walking, But humans don't do that. We fucking bandage you up. We have Social Security. We have healthcare. We have these things. And so if you look at where I was, very easily you could abandon me, and people actually did. And they thought, man, he's dead. He's done. And instead, because I got support from people who did care, and were they getting much out of it at the time? No, because I fucking was hurt and not very valuable to society. But then I come all the way back and create 400 jobs and a whole thing. So it's all the same, and it all goes in to tie to the legacy. That's the legacy. So what do we have after this? Also, as a side note, you should never do anything for legacy. You should do it for purpose. And then the side effect is legacy, because we can all tell the difference. You can see the wheels turning. Trump is doing this shit for legacy. Certainly not about the real deal. Be the real deal. You'll get the fucking legacy, right? Yeah. Gandhi, Buddha, Madonna, but we got a piece of art that will live on forever. We have a record keeping comedically of the 2020s. We have IP that will print royalties in perpetuity, like real estate. Real estate's pretty expensive, but intellectual property, it can be a couple of your friends farting on camera and you got a hit, jackass, right? And so it could create income streams and generational wealth for the people who did it. Jebus, is IP, if you will. I know that's the only thing that'll get you fucking greedy fucks in, And, he's more famous than every Marvel superhero combined. So we got a new superhero. I'll save it for another day, but Jebus 2 is coming with some more spiritual heroes joining him from around the world.
I dig it. Okay.
So, there's other religions too, and we'll, give everybody some shine and let them police their own.
I love it.
So projectfree.org, it might be theprojectfree.org. They have a band called Solar Flare, FLAIR, because they got flare and it's a solar flare. And it's they change the names all the time. Special ed, artists with disabilities, a unique, diverse community, autism, Down syndrome, brain injury, all sorts of things. And they have this incredible organization I fell in love with. Like the women who run it are, I call them boss babes. Every text is like, Project Free boss babes, and like one of them's like Hillary Clinton, just diplomat, handles everything. One of them's like a Philly hustler, like in Managing Money, and Audrey's like the fucking musical director, and you're managing 30 special musicians, and they run it better than artists I've signed to Sony in the past. To me, there's something interesting about what is a disability and what is a special power, and there's something there because people judge the shit out of me, and I'm, and I can do amazing things too, but and I suck at some things, Same with them. Like the lead singer Max is like the Rain Man of rock. You name a song, he tells you the year it came out. He knows the lyrics. I mean, it's impressive to watch. And then Lauren is the boss. Lauren is the drummer. She's deaf and Down syndrome, and she's a drummer.
Yeah.
How is that even fucking possible?
Yeah.
And she's awesome. She's like the Jack White. She has a very strong sense of self, strong sense of what she likes. And my favorite thing that happens when I work with them is when she tells me an idea is whack. I'll be like, yo, we do this. She's like, whack. And I'm like, Lauren, I love you. Never change. Don't ever pander to me. She's like, I never would. And I was like, thank you. And so this is a lot of fun. And so I started just serving there on Tuesdays, just like whatever they needed.
Yeah.
And I told Kim the first day, I said, clean toilets, whatever the fuck you need. I want to do some service that I don't get anything from. And first thing she said to me is, we want to perform at the White House someday. And I might want to run for president one day. I went to Georgetown. I'm baked in that kind of thing. And I was born election week in Valley Forge, where the country was born. And like, I don't know, I have a sense of destiny, but I am grandiose. So who knows? But, it could be the Ford thing. I don't know. But, so I took that as a wink too. I was like, what are the odds? I swear to God, I did not show up here to fucking get, I'm 39. I don't need community service hours for my resume. I just want to help and have a fun time. And and they embraced me, I embraced them, and they ended up giving me more than I gave them. And what's weird about that community is don't talk to them any different than you would anybody else. Yo, dude. Yo, what's up, dude? That was hot. Like don't talk like it's an endangered seal. And for as much as they might have certain deficits, I leave there with more energy. And most people don't do that to me. I'm a rare entertainer that gets energy from being silent and by myself. I don't get off to the attention, even though it looks like it. Boy puts on a show, but I don't give a fuck, but with them, I leave like full. And so that's like the weird thing about they're serving me as much as I'm serving them. And they're just fun. And I feel like I'm on Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and I'm Jack Nicholson. only in this era, we're not in the Bing. We're in the world and we're rock stars. Way better, way better. And so we've done so many things together, and we made Love Is My Religion by Ziggy Marley for the score. They practiced it. We shot a music video. It's out now if you check it online. And they're in blue and red robes. And we shot at the Blueberry Patch, local hippie commune, Gulfport. Yeah. And there was 2 big signs of love and revel there. I mean, they were there. We're talking 10-foot high letters. Oh my God. We didn't put that there. It was there. So there's just so many winks. And so last night was our like coming out party where we got to celebrate and perform it for everybody before the premiere. Yeah. It's easily the coolest thing I do. Yeah. Easily. It's a lot of fun, and it always rewards itself. It's a very real thing. And because I know that world and have been in it for 20 years, and we have such trust that it gives us license to do stuff comedically that you couldn't otherwise. And I lean into that. We're laughing together and we're pushing boundaries, and they're funny as shit. I mean, they're funny as shit on purpose. They're comedians. So they'll be there and they'll be like, when we're here, we're all weird. I'll be like, Lord knows that's why I'm here, you know? And it's non-judgmental. It's really cool. And, and it does show that thing about what's, skill and what's a deficit and these types of things. And it normalizes it. It makes it a little bit more accessible. And then, and these, like the one guy, Steven, first day I get in there, he'll be like, I think the tech companies are way too greedy. I'd be like, yeah, dude, it's that simple. Yeah. And then you go to these other guys and they're supposed to be geniuses. They don't fucking get that. No. And I'm like, this is this guy, you know? So they really are punk rock and they got this, this attitude to them that's real. And,
well, you mentioned earlier, you said, you know, some people perceive it as a deficit, but I think people that would be like neurotypical or whatever the right term used is like everyone's a deficit. There's just assholes out there. You know what I mean? They're just like,
usually the assholes are normies trying to push away their weirdness. And if they leaned in and joined us in the future, we'd have a great time. And I got a lot of flack while I had brain encephalitis and head injury and things. And you know, and I'm not proud of it. I made apologies where I needed to, and if I screamed because I was scared of a grocery store, I apologize. I mean, I fucking almost was not here. So that was a very hard period where you know, people were judging me, and you would never judge somebody running, somebody with a broken leg for running funny, but with a brain injury, it doesn't look, I look normal. So it just looks like I'm crazy or something, but my brain is literally inflamed. It's a swollen brain. That's brain encephalitis. And so it's not just mental health. It's literally neurological, physical health. Your brain is on fire. Yeah. So you could see how I could resonate with this shit really deep. You know, it's a really, really, really real deep thing for me. But you turn tragedy to joy and comedy, and then we're having the last laugh all over the place, you know? And so the DEI thing of having different people, it was not to check a box. That's what America looks like. Exactly. Have you walked around? Exactly. I mean, that's how in Philadelphia, it's every type of race next to each other because we're all poor. And you're going, you stupid black piece of shit, you white dumb fucker, you know. But we love each other. Yeah. We in a genuine sense, we love each other, but we're making jokes. And the country's kind of the opposite now. They're super sensitive, not kidding, and there's actual genuine hatred. It's all mixed up, and so, and it makes us stronger. Other countries that are more homogenous might have it easier. We got to work out this melting pot shit. But once we do, we have, this is backed by genetics, biology, immune antibodies. You know, let's fucking till we're green and then, you know, fucking keep on going. Yeah. And DEI benefited me. All the white comedy clubs rejected me. All the black clubs is who accepted me. Laugh House in Philly, where Kevin Hart started, was where I got my first residency. Okay. And so very similar to like Jim Carrey and the Wayans brothers, I'm a fucking weird dude. And they were like, yo, that's hot. And then, you know, Brooklyn white hipsters and LA Malibu types are rejecting me because they're trying so hard to be cool and they think I'm goofy. And the black guys think I'm hilarious. And I'm like, well, to me, that's mathematical proof I'm cooler. Yeah. You gotta know what you're better at, right? Yeah. And you're not doing anybody a fucking favor. They're better at culture. One of our best exports is Jay-Z. Okay? America's soft power, our best export is Jay-Z, and our worst import is diabetes.
Well, I know we talked about Jebus too. That's coming, but what do you hope for Jebus 1? Like, you know, right now you're in the film festivals. You just had this, you know, the opening party. What are you hoping for Jebus?
I hope that we go from a organic ground movement into a cultural zeitgeist phenomenon in the country. I hope it makes hundreds of millions of dollars to fund the next ones and get Gulfport some homes. And we make the next one and the next one and the next one. And we have a great time doing it. And we turn it into a political movement like the 60s. You know, so I hope that it kind of starts influencing the conversation, and then more and more people become purpose-driven revolutionaries making enlightenment instead of influencers.
If our listeners want to join the revolution, where can they find out more?
Revolutionary.com, spelled with the EV, Coley for president, Jebus movie, or any of those handles on any socials, or just go throw a clementine at a Tesla dealership.
It's been wonderful having you here. It's been such a joy getting to know you over the festival, and excited to have you here at the Sunscreen Sessions in St. Petersburg, Florida.